Well, most of our clients are used to this setting right now. This is me on the road. I'm heading to the Poconos today to race in the Stallion Series final in Pennsylvania. You know, for years now, I've talked about and done videos for our clients and done seminars really all over the world talking about fractional ownership and what kind of a role it plays and what kind of a role it should play for horse racing moving forward. You know, we are right now in the midst of a horse shortage. For those of you out there that are watching this, that are trainers, owners, drivers, you know this. You know this to be true, and it never became more evident than this week when the Meadowlands had to cancel the Thursday program because of a lack of entries. Let that sink in for a second. The Meadowlands, the mecca of horse racing in North America, could not fill its Thursday program. Now, our industry isn't known for its foresight, let's say. We tend to be very reactionary. We wait until things are in front of us and then act on them. And when it comes to this particular problem, it's been coming for a while, right? It's more difficult to race horses in North America. It seems harder. I see it all the time from our trainers, our drivers, our owners, and hear from them all the time. Many of our clients right now that we've picked up over the last 2 years have been people that were out of the business for a while. The expense of racing horses is real. It's tangible. You know it. I know it. How do we mitigate all the problems we have? Our breeders, you know, in a lot of cases, you've seen breeding farms shut down where the next generation of those people don't keep that farm up. They sell it, they move on. What happens when a Hanover, right? What happens when a Hanover starts to shrink? You think we have a horse shortage now? Wait till something like that happens. As is right now, we can barely fill the cards that we have. So there is a real need for action, immediate action, right now. How do we do that? Well, horses breeding is based on supply and demand, like everything else. Less owners, less trainers, less yearlings being bought. Less yearlings being bought means less yearlings being bred. So this horse shortage and owner shortage is not a chicken and the egg type situation. It's as clear as a bell. Less owners means less horses. And we can argue about a number of things. How to fix wagering, how to fix staking, how to fix a number of issues. But there is no argument, not in my mind, now I'm biased, but there is no argument about how to bring more owners into horse racing. I'm not going to drone on about fractional ownership and how many owners we have. It's unimportant. And if you don't know how many owners the stable has or how many horses the stable has, then that's on you. I'm not talking about exact numbers, I'm just talking about growth. Over the last 3 months, I've been contacted by 5, 6, 7 trainers about coming to work for us. We simply don't have the horses to do that. This isn't a labor shortage. These people aren't saying, oh, I'm just going to give up, you know, can I train some horses for you because, you know, we just can't find people to work. That's a problem. But that's a problem in society. That's not a horse racing problem. It is, but it isn't distinct to horse racing. So, looking at what is in front of us, and it's not going to get better. You and I both know, if you're a breeder out there, if you're a trainer out there, if you're an owner out there, if you're a groom out there, you know that these are 3-year cycles or more, right? So it took at least 3 years to get to here. Is the next year worse or better? Is the next year worse or better? Do you think we're breeding more horses? Because every time one of those trainers that messaged me leaves the game, that leaves a hole in our industry. It erodes at the fabric of our industry. You know, I call on the breeders and the stakeholders of this industry to put in place a platform in which trainers can get in touch with owners. And there are owners out there. I've already talked to many jurisdictions about building programs. And here's the difficult part, is that every trainer is so subjective and so different. You can't have a jurisdiction that just says, we support these trainers. You can't do that. But what you can do is build a tool that supports all trainers. All of them. And from that tool, from that platform, racing starts to get stronger. Then it's up to the trainer to generate more interest. It's up to the trainer to create more content for people to look at, for people to be aware of, for people to sink their teeth into. A simple platform would be here in Ontario, Ontario Racing's fractional hub. Here's a list of all the trainers that are available in Ontario. Now, those trainers would have to have a small website, and there's no reason why these jurisdictions can't help them with the funding to get them. These aren't expensive things. The first website we opened up at the stable was, I think, $800 for it to be up and running. And obviously, as the content gets more complex and abundant, then obviously you have to upgrade. But that upgrade came with, again, supply and demand. So you have the hub. Here's the trainers. Now it's up to the trainers to build that, have that website. Said website providers are in abundance. There's no shortage of them, I can assure you of that. You build the website, you have your email, a little biography, you know, your phone number on there, everything you need for people to get in touch with you. Now that you have that hub, now you get literature, and this is where the legwork of horse racing needs to happen moving forward. Or you can just watch it decline more and more and more, and it will. There is no two ways about that. Thousands and thousands and thousands of leaflets, or what I would call door knockers from when I was in politics. You ever come home during a political season where there's an election taking place and you have that annoying thing on your door? And this is very important. I want everybody to pay attention to this. So when I was, and many of you know this, a short time in politics, 2 years, 3 years, and I did run in Guelph. Now Guelph is 130,000 people. So I had 50,000 of these door knockers, the first 50,000. And I was going to go out and put them on doors. They're not really that expensive when you talk about volume. You go out and you put them on doors. You know as well as I do, most people look at it and say, rip it off, throw it in the garbage. You see it, you do it, I did it, I'll do it. But I went to the party and I said, why do we leave these things so people don't even read them? He said, that's a great question. He said, let's say you go down a street. Now this street is unknown to the party, so most parties know where the Liberals or Democrats are, where the Conservatives are, or Republicans if you're an American. Now we have a wider swath of parties. Doesn't matter. You know where I'm going. Well, you know that neighborhood or that door that you're knocking on is either undecided or it's likely to lean one way or the other. You put it on. So he said, say you're in a conservative neighborhood, you go down the street and you put 10 of those out. How many people read them? I said 2 at the most. That's correct. He said, I'm not following. He said, it's volume. So if 2 out of 10 read it, that means 2,000 out of 10,000 read it. That means 10,000 out of the 50,000 you have read your literature, read your material. If your material is on point and your material makes sense and it is backed up with a website, our website that is crisp and clean and modern and easy to maneuver in, you now have 10,000 eyeballs that are likely going to vote for you. Mr. McDonald, it's going to take 25,000 votes to win Guelph. Do the math. I never thought of it like that. It's simple volume. And if we as an industry, if we put out thousands and thousands and thousands of door knockers, knock on doors, talk to people. You are horsemen. You are probably the nicest people on earth and the most wholesome, down-to-earth people. You know you are. But when it comes to interacting with strangers, some of you can be a little reclusive, and there's nothing wrong with that. You grew up around horses, caring for horses, being involved in horse racing. So dealing with the general public feels a little bit like it did to me when I started having to knock on doors. The first couple, very rusty, very awkward, like a kid at a junior high dance. By the time I got to 10,000, I knew what you were going to say, I knew what I was going to say, and I likely knew what the outcome of that conversation was going to be, depending on which way you leaned politically. Our industry can't be fixed in a day. It wasn't broken in a day, and it can't be fixed in a day. But it can be fixed. For those of you out there that don't believe me, that's fine. You've already turned this video off anyway, so you didn't just hear me say that. For those of you who believe me, that believe that this industry can be fixed, it will take every single person, all hands on deck, to do the little things. And if we know that this horse shortage, if you believe me, that this horse shortage is caused by an ownership shortage, and the future of this industry is endangered by an ownership shortage, then there is only one way to fix it. Bring more people in. Now, I will tell you, we have over 900 clients in 13 countries. We didn't get that out of luck. We didn't get that out of, coercion. We got that because we did have a crisp site that people could look at and look through. I try to be as open and transparent as I can. We try to be welcoming and inviting. We try to make sure that when people call us, we either answer or return their call. And if they email us, they get a return. They get an email back to them. And as quickly as I can. You want to grow your business, be better than the people around you. I tell my son this all the time. If you want to do good in your life, work harder than the people around you. And if we all took that mentality into society, into the general public, with the information and the literature that we have, that clearly shows that horse racing, dollar for dollar, is by far the most affordable entertainment product on planet Earth, because it is, then we will do good together. We will grow this industry together. But it won't happen overnight. So I call on the stakeholders of this industry to help our trainers build those hubs. They are not difficult to do. You will not have to rubber stamp these trainers and say, we support these people, because we don't know what they're like. People make mistakes all the time, both in life and this industry. But you can support the industry by building that hub. And trainers, you can support yourselves. And make no mistake. Yes, thestable.ca is busy. Yes, I'm busy. Yes, I'm always on the move somewhere. But I will always try to help everyone in this industry if I can. And this is an if you build it, they will come type situation. And if the trainers of this industry need help, and they feel for some reason I can give it to them, then I'd be happy to do so. Build the hub. Build the pages. Allow people to do their work. Help them with the literature. And I guarantee you, I personally will do everything I can, and so will everybody else, to see that this industry grows, expands, and succeeds moving forward. Now that is my Monday speech, ad lib, to everybody in horse racing.